Aaron Falligant. Illustrated by Nicoletta Baldari. Designed by Tony Farron. Long ago, a great explorer named Clade took his son Searcher on a quest to find what lay beyond the mountains. When Searcher discovered a mysterious glowing plant, he decided to bring it home to Avalonia. Jaeger was angry that Searcher would rather be a farmer than an explorer. Searcher told him, "I'm not you." Disappointed, Jaeger continued his journey alone. Years passed, and Jaeger never returned from his quest. Pando, the glowing plant that Searcher had found in the mountains, had changed Avalonia. Pando powered everything from street lamps to airships. Searcher became a hero, just like his father. But what he wanted most was to be a farmer. Searcher and his wife Meridian enjoyed their quiet life on the Pando farm. Their son, Ethan, liked to help harvest Pando pods. Legend the dog helped too. Searcher hoped Ethan would take over the farm one day, but Ethan wasn't sure he shared that dream. For now, he wanted to play card games with his friends. One day, the Pando crops across Avalonia started to die. The leader of Avalonia arrived in a huge airship called the Venture and invited Searcher on a mission to help save Pando. Ethan begged to go too, but Searcher told him it was too dangerous. Searcher was sad to disappoint his son, but he needed Ethan to help Meridian take care of the farm. Searcher boarded the Venture, ready to find out what was hurting Pando. The airship followed the plant's roots into an enormous hole in the earth. Suddenly, Meridian zipped past, hollering, "Ethan is on the ship!" Ethan had stowed away on the Venture. But before Searcher could send him home, the Venture lurched sideways. Dozens of winged beasts were attacking the ship. As the airship plummeted, Searcher and Ethan braced for impact. Meridian saw that the Venture was in trouble and jumped from her plane into the ship's cockpit. The ship crashed through the ground and into a strange world. Searcher and Legend tumbled off the deck and landed safely on the soft and bouncy ground. Searcher gazed in awe at the unusual forest filled with even more unusual creatures. Suddenly, a blue blob snatched Searcher's bandana. Then, a tentacled monster called a Reaper charged Legend. Whoosh! A hairy monster chased the Reaper away with a flamethrower. The monster pulled off its mask. "Dad?" said Searcher. Searcher had many questions for his father, but Jaeger had seen the airship crash land, and he wanted to find it. He was still looking for a path to the other side of the mountains. Maybe the Venture could take him there. As Jaeger hiked, Searcher followed, huffing and puffing, until Jaeger found a playing card on the ground. "That's Ethan's," Searcher said. Was Ethan in danger? Ethan had gone looking for his father. He met the blue blob carrying Searcher's bandana. Ethan named the blob Splat. Could Splat lead him to Searcher? Instead, Splat led Ethan toward a large hive. Ethan found a crate of Pando pods nearby. Splat tried to pull Ethan back toward the hive, but one of the pods shocked Splat. Ethan saw that Pando pods could hurt the creatures of this world. He bandaged Splat's wound. Suddenly, Reapers spilled out of the hive. As the beasts surrounded Ethan, Splat tried to signal that Ethan was a friend, but they didn't listen. Just in time, Searcher and Jaeger arrived and drove the Reapers back. When more Reapers attacked, Meridian zoomed into view. She had come looking for Ethan. "Get on!" she shouted, gunning her engine. Finally safe inside the Venture, the family and crew followed the Pando roots deeper into the strange world, until they reached a sizzling acid lake. Could the Venture get past this burning sea? Meridian steered the ship over, around, and straight through the raging waves of acid, and made it safely to the other side. When they entered a cave, Searcher saw a tangle of healthy Pando roots wrapped around a throbbing mound. A swarm of Reapers and flying creatures were attacking the roots. Were these monsters killing Pando? Searcher kicked into action, firing a stream of Pando dust at the monsters until they began to drop one by one. Thinking of Splat, Ethan didn't want to hurt the creatures. Searcher reminded him that farmers must protect their crops from pests, but Ethan refused. "I'm not a farmer, Dad," he said. "I'm not you." Then he stormed away. Searcher remembered the day he had told his own father, "I'm not you." Was he pushing Ethan the way Jaeger had pushed him? He chased after Ethan. Searcher caught up to Ethan and apologized. The clouds parted, revealing a sparkling ocean on the other side of the mountains. When they looked down, a giant eye stared back at them. "This place is alive," Ethan said. He realized that Avalonia rested on the back of an enormous living animal. They had traveled through its body. The forest was its lungs, the burning sea was its stomach, and Pando was wrapped around its heart. Pando was killing this animal. Ethan and Searcher raced to the Venture to share their discovery. Searcher explained that they needed to fight Pando, not the beasts. They had to dig a hole in the root and allow the creatures to destroy it from within. Together, Searcher, Ethan, and Splat rode on the back of a winged creature toward the root. Meanwhile, Jaeger hopped on a skiff and flew to see what was beyond the mountains. But soon, he turned around. He knew Searcher needed him. Ethan and Splat summoned the Reapers as Searcher dug into the Pando root. A bolt of energy knocked Searcher off his feet. Jaeger saw that Searcher was struggling and joined the fight. "Let's get to work," he told Searcher. With one final strike, they exposed the root's delicate insides. Lightning struck both men, who fell to the ground while Reapers swarmed into the gash they'd opened. When Searcher opened his eyes, he heard the thump-thump of an enormous, pounding heart. The animal was alive, thanks to him and Jaeger. It was time to return home. But first, Searcher wanted to show Jaeger the world beyond the mountains. Jaeger sighed happily as he gazed out at the vast sea. The large eye stared up at the family, and they stared back. The Clades had saved the animal and Avalonia. Now they could all return home together. A year later, Avalonia had become a very different city. The townspeople now relied on the wind and sun to power their homes and vehicles. With Jaeger by his side, Searcher had begun farming fruits and vegetables. And Ethan was following his own path, not his father's and not his grandfather's. He was exploring in his very own way at last.